From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, June the 5th, 2018. Israeli firefighters once again today battled a number of large blazes in southern Israel, sparked by incendiary kites sent from Gaza. One of the fires could be seen across the street from the town of Sderot's Sapir College. The Jewish National Fund said today that it could sue Hamas in an international court for severe damages caused by land owned by the JNF near the Gaza border. KKL JNF World Chairman Daniel Attar toured the damaged area today and said it is inconceivable that the international community would allow Hamas not to be held accountable and pay for its criminal acts. Not only, he said, against the citizens of the State of Israel, but also against the environment, which has been severely hurt by this criminal environmental terrorism. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in Paris today. He met with French Jewish community leaders as well as with French President Emmanuel Macron. Yesterday, Netanyahu was in Berlin meeting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. The two discussed Israel's find this past April of documents showing a secret atomic archive in Iran, as well as the situation in Gaza. Netanyahu said Israel is doing what it can to prevent a humanitarian collapse in Gaza, and that the crisis is due to Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas's poor handling of the situation and terror group Hamas's decision to take all the money it receives to help Gaza residents and instead use it for terror. Tomorrow, Netanyahu heads to the UK to meet with British Prime Minister Theresa May. The Prime Minister said the focus of these meetings in Europe is mostly to discuss the Iranian threat. Israel's security agency, the Shin Bet, revealed today a recent plot targeting the prime minister, among others. In April, Israeli forces arrested an Arab-Israeli man suspected of planning to assassinate Netanyahu and Jerusalem mayor Nir Barkat, as well as carry out other terror attacks on the orders of a Syria-based terrorist group. Two more suspects were arrested several weeks later. Indictments were filed against the three on May the 27th, but the case was kept under a gag order until today. An initial investigation by the IDF has found that the Palestinian medic who was killed on Friday during violent clashes along the Gaza security fence was not deliberately targeted. The IDF said 22-year-old Razan Ashraf Najjar was accidentally hit either by a ricochet or a missed gunshot. They said during the incident, a limited number of bullets were fired and no gunfire was directly or intentionally fired at her. The investigation is ongoing, and the IDF General Staff has also launched its own investigation. Those findings will be presented to the Military Advocate General to determine if any further action is necessary. The United Nations for the first time released guidelines on fighting anti-Semitism. Yesterday, UNESCO, the UN's cultural body, released the Education Guide in Paris in collaboration with the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, presented by UNESCO's first Jewish Director General, Audrey Azoulay. The guide is meant to be used by teachers as well as political leaders and others. Azoulay said anti-Semitic incidents were on the rise, but she stressed that anti-Semitism was not just a problem for the Jewish community to deal with. She said it is a symptom of a wider social or political problem that indicates tendencies of social regression, which dangerously harms the social fabric. Israel sent a rescue team yesterday to Guatemala following two devastating volcanic eruptions. IsraAid's emergency response team arrived in Guatemala today and will assess the situation and distribute humanitarian relief as needed. Well, Atlanta's Jewish community celebrated Israel's 70th birthday in an especially sweet way. The Atlanta Jewish Times reports that volunteers assembled the largest Israeli flag to date made out of edible cookies on Sunday. 117,000 cookies were used to make the flag at Congregation Beth Jacob, setting a new Guinness World Record. The event also raised over $100,000 for 3 nonprofits in Israel: United Hatzalah, the Volunteer Emergency Medical Service, One Family Fund, which supports victims of terror, and the Jewish agency's Partnership Together program. The cookies were donated as well. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, June the 5th, 2018. I'm Teisha Bader.